After a good day at school, Tony arrived home and continued to talk to Dad about his nightmare last night and how awesome Derek is. Tonight he wasn't afraid of sleeping, and he actually fell asleep quite quickly. When the rest of the world was peacefully sleeping, Tony woke up in the dark. He sensed that he was not alone in his bedroom. He sat up in his bed and looked down. Whatever was at the end of his bed was even darker than night. After his eyes adjusted to the darkness, he realised the black shape on his bed. Just below his feet was a giant black spider. Tony could see that this large spider's head was that belonging to his dear mother who passed a year ago. Her mouth was wide open. Then Tony heard his mum's voice coming out from her still open mouth. Her facial expression looked like she was screaming. She said, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." Tony realised he was physically trembling. Something else caught Tony's eye. He turned his head, looking towards his bedroom window. Underneath the windowsill was a weird bundle of what first appeared to be about 7 or 8 tiny coats. Skin-coloured coats. No, they weren't coats. Tony then thought they were a bundle of small-sized mannequins. Oh my God. He could just make out they were a stacked tower of bodies. Dead baby ones. Tony's mum was contacting him in his sleep to apologise for not being able to provide Tony a sister or a brother. Tony's spine froze. He was in deep shock. Then the dead baby boy lying at the very top of the tower of steel bodies turned its frail head, then opened its empty white eyes, looking directly at Tony, then yelled. Tony woke up, but in the real world. It must have been the dead of night. Straight away he looked up at the ceiling and said, "Derek, I need your help." He returned to deep sleep and arrived in dreamland outside the Dreamcatcher's huge building again. The cold mist was exactly the same as the night before. Tony walked into the shop and Derek greeted him as soon as he entered. "Back again so soon, young Tony," Derek said. "What's happened?" Tony shared the details of his nightmare. It was obvious the dream really shook him up. It was beyond terrifying. Derek reassured him that teenagers have the worst dreams because you're more susceptible to harm, especially from twisted demons. What visited you tonight in your dream was not your mother. A particular demon has targeted you like she does with all my new clients because you're so vulnerable. This demon has no name, so this is what you must do. Walk with me." Tony walked with Derek to another aisle in the Dreamcatcher's shop. Derek picked up a silver shoebox and opened it, and removed a normal silver key and gave it to Tony. "I'm sorry about your mum. Your dad always told me how beautiful she was. But now this is something you must do to protect yourself. Take the key, and when you're back in the nightmare, if that spider is still posturing at the end of your bed, just throw this key at the spider and you'll be able to have power over the spider demon. You'll be able to control its movement. You need to remove the demon spider from your bedroom quickly, and the quickest way to do that is through your bedroom window. The spider will land in your garden, and you need to steer the beast towards the very end of your garden, and then you'll notice a wooden bridge. Just control the spider and make it jump into the cold swamp. Then the plank witches will take care of the spider demon. What you'll witness will be very disturbing. You'll be scared, but remember, you'll feel no pain. And before you know it, you'll wake up to a bright new day. I guarantee you after doing this that demon with no name will never frighten you again. Tony was listening intently to every word, and he had one question for Derek. How can that demon know about my mum, what she looks like, and the miscarriages she had? This demon, Derek said, is very clever. She tapped into your memory while you slept. Tony took the key and returned to deep sleep again. Then he continued down the dream black metal spiral into his nightmare. And at the end of the bed was the black demon spider, waiting, still. Tony threw the silver key at his mother's head attached to the spider's body. Then he was suddenly inside the body of the spider, looking at himself sat upright in bed. He managed to move the spider towards his window. Christ, it scuttled fast, he thought. He made it jump over the tower of dead babies, through the window and onto the grass outside. Nighttime, freezing cold. He got the spider out of the room all right. Tony noticed this particular nightmare was in black and white. Come on, Tony, focus. He steered the 8 legs to the end of the garden and noticed a small wooden bridge which only exists in dreams. Once on the bridge, Tony made the spider jump into the deep black swamp. The dream mist made it difficult to see the plank witches at first. Then when Tony saw the first one, he was absolutely terrified. There were 6 of them. The witches wait for prey under the planks of wood of small bridges. That's how they get their name, plank witches. And then Tony counted about 10 of them. Then the herd of witches ripped into the 8 legs of the spider. They absolutely loved its taste. Tony could feel the spider's body sinking into the swamp, and before drowning inside this spider demon, Tony opened his eyes to another sunny day. He had another good day at school, but he was a little sad thinking about his poor mum. She would have been so proud of her boy. Tony told Dad what happened. His dad was impressed by his son's courage. Perhaps you should tell your friends at school about Derek. Derek loves helping people of all ages with their bad dreams. And Tony did just that. He told some friends about Derek, and they all couldn't wait to meet the older man after their next nightmare. The following evening, Tony got into bed and hoped in time he'll forget that distressing image of the tower of dead babies.